Floodwaters in the Llano River began receding Wednesday after cresting at nearly 40 feet the day before. Flooding forced residents to evacuate and caused a bridge to collapse. At least 2 people died. CBS News correspondent Mark Strassmann has more.
Central Texas has so much floodwater with no place to go. The Llano River still roaring and still causing havoc to communities. At least 2 deaths have been blamed on the floodwaters. We came across a rescue team who found 2 men trapped in their submerged SUV, nose down in a street that had washed away. One of dozens of rescues over the last couple of days. Most of this excess water has flowed into bloated Lake Travis. Engineers have opened a series of control gates to relieve the water pressure.
How fast did the water come up?
I would say it probably came up 5 or 6 feet in a matter of 15 minutes.
On Tuesday morning, Scott Turner's family of 4 discovered the Llano River had surged a half-mile into their house, ruining almost everything they own.
When the water came up in the house and we got out, it was probably almost up to past our ankles. And
time to go.
Time to go. We got the dogs out, and that was it.
Mark Strassmann joins me now from Llano, Texas. Mark, floodwaters destroyed a major bridge Tuesday, making it impassable. How has the collapse of this bridge impacted the community?
Well, the 2900 bridge, Elaine, as it was known, was built to last for 50 years, and it lasted 49 until yesterday. Yesterday, when the swollen Llano River, about 18 feet above flood stage, just came pounding and pounding against that bridge, and eventually this bridge that looked to me maybe a football field long, perhaps longer, it just collapsed, and huge chunks of it went floating downstream. And now, if you look from one side of the river to the other, you can't get there from here. The bridge is completely gone. What these folks are going to do about rebuilding the bridge is unclear. Both sides have options, that is, other ways to get around Central Texas, but it's an example, a very prominent example of just what this community has gone through here and of the aftermath they're going to be dealing with for weeks to come.
And Mark, give us a sense of what other damage that you've seen from this flooding.
You know, the damage, actually, Lane, has not been epic. I mean, we're not talking about something on the scale of Hurricane Michael. There are homes that have been flooded and so forth, and there's evidence that this area has been through a lot. I mean, for instance, just where I'm standing, if we can pull out of the camera just a little bit wider. I mean, this area I'm standing for another 50 yards yesterday was all covered in water. I want to show you this tree. You see that clump of debris up in that tree? I mean, water pushed it there just yesterday, and today that water's gone. Gone because engineers have done a good job today of moving massive amounts of water to other places. Swollen tributaries became swollen rivers. Swollen rivers became lakes. 5 lakes that are now closed here in Central Texas because they're all significantly above flood stage. They're just trying to find some place to dump all this water and keep people out of harm's way. And in places like this, it has worked today. The other thing that has happened, Elaine, that has been a bonus for engineers is the weather. It's misting here today. It has lightly rained at times, but there has not been a downpour. The problem is that tomorrow, Friday, and perhaps on Saturday, the forecast calls for more rain.
Well, Mark, what are authorities doing to help people who were flooded out of their homes?
Well, they've set up shelters for them, as you might expect. Today, they allowed people who had been strongly encouraged to leave their homes if they were river-fronting properties. They allowed them to go back home and see just how their property stood up against the flooding that was particularly bad yesterday. But they've warned those people, with the changing forecast, changing for the worse, that those people may have to be evacuated again. Other than that, they are putting out a number of rescue patrols because people get into trouble. They try to drive through water. The road is washed away. And as I think we saw in that piece, sometimes they get in so much trouble that somebody needs to come along and pull them out and pluck them to safety. So there's that too. Again, good news here is that they are trying to keep this all under control, and the damage and the disruption is there, but the damage has not been epic. It has not been as significant, certainly, as what we're watching along the Florida coast.
All right, Mark Strassmann for us. Mark, thank you.